Good morning from Radio Entrepreneurs, sharing the success of entrepreneurship. And we're filling in for Jeff Davis today. This is John Dustin from JED Insurance, along with my co-host Peter Meyerson from Cohen, Resnick, and Meyerson. Good morning, Peter.
And Plowed. If I leave out that partner's name, he gets mad.
And we're here today with Fred Golder of Bernstein, Golder and Miller, attorney, educator, writer, and Renaissance man. Good morning.
Good morning. It's great to be here. The reason I'm here really is because of this amazing book I wrote, When God Looked Down and Wept.
So tell us about it.
All right. Well, it's kind of interesting. For years and years, I've been an advocate for workers, and I've represented workers. And in my spare time, I was involved with the Civil Rights Division or section of the Anti-Defamation League. And one day I got a call from Leonard Zakem before it was a bridge. He was an amazing man, and he was the regional director in New England. And he called me up, and I was on the Civil Rights Committee. He said, "Fred, I have a case for you." I said, "I am up to my ears in cases. I can't take any more cases." He says, "You've got to take this case." I said, "I can't take the case." So he called me. It was hard to say no to Len. And then finally, the third time he called me, he said, "You got to take the case." He was fired for being too Jewish. I said, "All right, that was it." I said, "In the United States, you can be too Jewish, you can be too Muslim, you can be too Christian." So that was the beginning of an amazing adventure that I had with this gentleman who was born it was on a border town between Czechoslovakia, Romania. It kept switching back and forth depending, Hungary. And he told me about his life. And when you're getting ready for trial and when you're meeting someone, you get to sort of get a measure of this person. And he starts telling me about his life and his experience, and I'm fascinated. And he starts to tell me about how he wasn't even 16 years old. The Nazis came. They took him by train transport. He told me the story, and I wanted to know the details. Everybody sort of has an understanding of the Holocaust, but I wanted to know, and he finally, reluctantly told me his story, and it was just an amazing, incredible story. And coupled with his story, of course, I was in the middle of getting ready for a trial, his trial. He was terminated for being too Jewish from a school system, public school system in Massachusetts. Maybe the name is going to remain unnamed at the present. But the reason he got hired, they had a policy, this particular town, that if 12 parents petitioned, the town had to offer a program. And the parents in this particular town
sounds like a minion.
Yeah, exactly. So here he was. The parents got together, they petitioned the town, and they wanted Hebrew as a foreign language. So they looked around the school, and they finally found my client, Benjamin. They said, "Wow, we'll hire this guy." They hire him.
So your client is Benjamin?
Yes, he is. And he works for them for 5 years. He becomes... Now, remember now, the town did not want to offer Hebrew as a foreign language. But because the parents petitioned, they were obligated to do it. So while he's teaching Hebrew, he doesn't know what's going on behind the scenes. They're trying to discourage people from taking Hebrew. So while Hebrew is declining, the enrollment is declining, when the students had finally graduated, there wasn't a need for a Hebrew teacher to teach Hebrew classes. And they always considered him to be the Hebrew teacher. He wasn't a teacher teaching a foreign language. He was the Hebrew teacher.
Was he tenured at that point?
Yes. Here's the good part, the interesting part. So now he's a tenured teacher. He's been there now for 5 years. He's a gifted teacher, gets wonderful evaluations. However, Italian's declining enrollment, Hebrew declining enrollment. By the way, he also taught certified to teach social studies, and he even taught social studies for 1 year. So he teaches, and they have to decide. They've got two people. They have him and they have a much younger, non-Jewish teacher teaching Italian. They have to reduce somebody in force, and who is it going to be? Is it going to be the older Jewish teacher that looks like a rabbi? And by the way, there was testimony that he was taking advantage of the Jewish holidays. Why couldn't he be like all the other Jews? He only takes off Rosh Hashanah, Yom Kippur. He took off Shavuot, Sukkot, because to him, that's what an observant Jew did. And the school committee didn't like that either. The school department didn't like that either. So they had many reasons. First, he was too Jewish. He took off for Jewish holidays. And lo and behold, they decided he was going to be the one to go. And so that's how I came to meet him.